Everyone online seems to hate War Machine, but honestly, this movie was way better than I expected. Yes, the dialogue was corny here and there.
Hey, dude, bros. Shut up. Ugh. Who approved that?
That might be the corniest line I've ever heard.
I didn't like in this was that everyone died except for 81 and 7.
I disagree. I don't think the corny dialogue held the movie back. I don't think any of the predictable stuff held it back. I think if you look past all of that, you have a really motivational movie here on our hands. I'm your host, Aaron Haig, and with me is.
Your other host, Libby Collins.
And welcome back to Forget the Critics, the podcast where we watch movies, talk about them, and decide if they actually deserve the hype. Before we get into it, Libby, what was your expectation going into War Machine?
Thought I was gonna hate it. I thought it sounded stupid. Is that mean to say? I just didn't think it sounded
No.
interesting that they were fighting off an alien robot machine.
I had written down that the description sounded a bit corny. It was just saying that they were rangers that had to fight off some alien machine, and you're like, what does that really mean? And I remember when I told you we were going to watch this movie, you were like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah, trust it. The only reason that I was
like, that
trusting
sounds like
it,
it's gonna be terrible.
yeah, and the only reason that I was really trusting it is because Alan Richardson, who is the main actor in this movie, truly carried this movie. I mean, he's a great actor, and I trusted it from the beginning. What did you think of him? Because this was the first time you've seen him.
I agree with you. I think he was a very good actor. I think unfortunately he was given some like corny lines, but we'll get into that later. But yeah, good actor. Like visually, he really fits the role, so I feel like it just made sense to have him.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
he's stereotypically the guy you'd want to be there. I mean, he's jacked.
yeah, yeah.
Alan Richardson, I've watched him before. So he's in Blue Mountain State. If you've ever seen that, that's just about like D1 football players and just like the crazy life of what they do, partying with girls, whatever it is. And in that show, it's a comedy. So he's playing like a comedy character, and it's hilarious because he'll like act masculine, but then he'll scream like a girl. It's hilarious. There's this scene where he's like trying to get the entire team to put like a tube up their wiener, so then they can, because they have to pass a drug test, and they're like putting tubes up their wieners to like put fake piss in there. It's so funny. But he goes from playing that role to Reacher, which I watched him in Reacher, and that's the first time I saw him. That's when I truly was like, this guy's good. And now War Machine, which it's a perfect role for him. I don't know how you say he was bad being casted in this role.
That makes me want to watch other movies that he's in to see if he fits those roles as well as he does with this movie.
Reacher, it's really good.
I know, but isn't that like similar vibe? I want to watch the one you were saying earlier that's more of a comedy.
Oh, Blue Mountain State. Yeah. Moving on with what we were getting at with corny lines. Let's just jump straight into the negatives so we can get them out of the way. Because we're going to talk mainly positive things about this movie. The internet isn't liking it. I've seen many reviews of people saying that this movie was terrible. People even hated the story, which I completely disagree with. But there is a scene where I'll just bring up the first one that was terrible. When the girl comes up out of that tank truck, whatever you want to call it, and she goes, "Dude, bros," and she's like, "Look what I got," and she's holding up Gatorade and those packs of food. That was terrible.
That was so cringe. Ew. Like, that was one of the hardest watches ever. She just, got up there. Hey, dude, bros. Shut up. Ugh.
I
Who
literally
approved
wanted to
that?
watch exactly in the movie. I don't know if it gets worse
Yeah.
than that. And she
Well,
said 2 words.
in this movie, I feel like there actually were a few parts that could compete with that for like corniest
I
movie
was trying to
phrases I've
defend
heard.
some of them. Another one I've got down is when Seven had guessed what the DFQ meant on 81. The main character, we don't actually know his name, I believe. I think we just know him as 81. But he has DFQ on his arm, and he goes, "Don't frickin' quit." And 81 goes, "How'd you know that?" Like, what do you mean, how'd you know that? I feel like if you look at DFQ, that's like the only thing you'd think of. That
Honestly,
was corny.
that's probably not what I would think of if I saw that on someone's arm, but I'm also not a military man, so maybe it's, like, different if you're in the military, but, yeah, the way
Okay.
that he was like, "What is that? Don't fucking quit." Like, ew, who
Yeah,
bro,
that was
people
corny,
get
and
bad tattoos.
do you think that was a bad tattoo?
Yes, that's a terrible tattoo.
But it symbolizes him and his brother's, like his, like, brother their connection because they both had the tattoo.
Yeah, that's true. I guess the fact that it's meaningful gives it a few points up, but honestly, points off for the fact that it was huge. It was in the middle of his forearm and it was vertical, DFQ, like stacked on top of each other.
Yeah.
Like it was big.
It was a pretty big tattoo.
Not a good one.
One uh one other negative I have is it kinda goes along with the fact that Seven was able to guess this tattoo, and he was like, "Whoa, how'd you know?" I think there
Mhm.
was a lot of things throughout this movie where I was like, "Oh, this is gonna happen," and it exactly happens because
Mhm.
everything in this movie was easily predictable. So
Mhm.
that is another negative about the movie, but I'm not as upset about that because I think they were still fine.
Yeah, I
I don't
think
know
it
how
was
you
like
felt about it.
still I agree with you. It was predictable, but I don't think it made the movie less interesting.
I agree because I remember there was when the robot was walking up towards Seven when he was leaning up against a tree, and 81 was like, "Stay." Oh, that's another corny line. He's like, "Can you stay here for me?" And then it was stupid because obviously he can't walk. Uh,
Yeah. Oh my
and then
god,
he
that
goes to
was
run to
stupid.
he runs to the coral, and I was like, "Oh," I was like, "Libby, the robot's gonna come over, it's gonna start scanning him, and it's about to shoot him, but then he's gonna do something to distract him, and last minute he's gonna go over to him." Boom,
Yeah.
exactly what happens.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. Predictable for sure.
But that's literally all I have to like negatively say about it. And these negatives, I say the corny lines don't turn me off from the movie. They do make me laugh, which that can be good in a movie, and I find that good about it. And the predictableness
Mhm.
doesn't make me hate the movie like more than it is good. So
Mhm.
that's good.
This movie you had mentioned was more gory than you had expected it to be. Is that a
Yes.
negative or a positive for you?
I actually in this movie think I don't always think gory is positive, but I think in this movie it is positive because it shows the true destructiveness of that alien tech.
Mhm.
Because I mean, if you have an alien robot with no gore, you don't really truly understand how powerful it is. But I think having that much gore and seeing like limbs being blown off and guts being
Mhm.
smashed, I think it truly adds to the fact like this is alien technology and it's scary. So I think it was
Yeah.
positive in those.
Yeah, I can see that. I have a few more negatives I'd like to share actually. 'Cause I know you didn't have too many for this movie, but one okay, this is so small, but it just came to my mind. At the start of the movie, or closer to the start, when that alien machine first starts, like, attacking them,
Mhm.
and it throws a little bomb at them, and the bomb blows the whole group of them off the cliffside, and they all go tumbling down, like,
Yes.
the the camera angles make it seem like it's a super steep, dangerous cliff, and, like, people are, like, hitting branches and big rocks and stuff, and, like, everyone gets, like, pretty beat up from that fall down. And
Yeah.
then, they all get to the bottom, and they're all like, "Crap, like, we need comms, we need the radio, whatever." And then this guy, 81, he's like, "I'll go get it," and just climbs back up the cliff like it was no big deal. Did you notice that?
Yeah, but they
Like,
all like
they all
almost
they spent,
died.
like, 30 seconds flying down the cliff, and he just climbed back up it. Another thing, we had pointed out that the camera angles in this movie are kind of weird, like,
Yeah.
when they finally get to that little, like, camp where, what is the word? It started with a C.
The cadre?
Cadre?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when they finally get to that camp where the cadre was, like, supposed to be, um, they discovered, like, the spaceship had literally flown right through that, and
Mhm.
then they're like, "Oh my god, we can hear someone groaning," and I think it was their drill sergeant, and one kid rolled him over, and the way the camera, like, angled right on this kid's face, and he was like, "Sergeant!" It was like, honestly, that was a terrible angle, and it looked really corny. Um, like, I feel like that I think they were trying to achieve a very, like, emotional scene right there, and it was just stupid, and that was
Ye
literally 30 seconds before the girl climbed out of the truck and was like, "Hey, dude, bros." So,
Mhm.
that was a low
Yeah,
point in the movie.
I remember you mentioning that because the camera angle was kind of, like, pointing towards his chin.
Mhm.
It
Yeah, it
wasn't
was
like
weird.
yeah. I think to add on to the camera angles, what they could have done better is they because of the predictableness problem, it was because of the camera angles. They're constantly, like, zooming in on the rope and, like, staying on the rope for way too long. They're zooming in on the compass for way too long. It's like, I
Mhm.
don't know if they were purposely trying to make it obvious, but I mean, if you've watched movies enough and you just know enough about foreshadowing, if you see a camera angle staring at something for too long, you're like, "Okay, something's about to happen."
Mhm.
We already know the compass goes
Mhm.
crazy because of the magnetic field. So if you see it staring at it for too long, you're like, "Oh, it's about to show up." I think maybe what
Yeah.
they could have done better is instead of like constantly doing these camera angles to like make it obvious that something's happening, is like really focus on them on the rope, and then all of a sudden the guy like turns his
Someone
head.
should have just been, like, shot.
Yes,
They should
like
have
it should
just
have
been
been
like
more of jump scares.
yeah. I
Or like,
agree
dude,
with that.
it would have been sick if they were, you know how those two were like pushing down on the rope and all the
Mhm.
like he like looks back to see him coming over the ridge because he hears the compass going crazy. It would have been so much better if they were sitting there and then all of a sudden his like you see his body turn red and he's looking down and then he looks over and he's just blasted. That would have been better
Yeah,
instead of like making it predictable.
I agree. I actually really agree with that. Um, yeah, you're right. Like, that was just a very predictable little thing. Except for once they lost that compass, then, it was kind of harder to tell when that thingy was coming after
Yeah,
them.
I agree.
Um, Another thing I didn't like in this was that everyone died except for 81 and 7. I
Mm,
think that was so stupid. I understand they were, like, a big probably, like, a group of 30-ish people. I
yeah.
understand some of them had to go, like, that adds to the movie, but by the end of it, after everything they had gone through, I was like, "Seriously, how are these people still dying in the stupidest ways?" And, like, these are supposed to be, like, the best of the best soldiers, and you're telling me 81 is carrying this whole team on his back, like, there's not even another soldier that compares to, like, his knowledge and skill.
I
I just
disagree.
didn't like that. I feel like he needed a sidekick, and,
Mhm.
I don't like that at the end of the movie when he finally spoiler guys, he makes it back to camp with 7. Like, instantly, bro, they made him give a speech, and they made him, hop back in a helicopter to go fight off more of these, like, things. I'm like, "Dude, everyone else is just gonna die, and he's just gonna do it all by himself again."
Yeah. I Here's the thing. I'll agree to disagree. So what you just said was a lot of what everyone else is saying online, and I completely disagree because I one of my positives is I really like this story. I like the fact that the movie starts off with 81 and his brother working together and he's like, "Come on man, we have to do this ranger training like this is something we talked about as kids. I really want to do this." And he was like, "Nah,
Mhm.
man, I'm too old. Like I don't want to do this." And he finally convinces him, and they have this cool brotherly moment. And then they get ambushed and he dies. And then he carries his brother because he's the only one left alive from that platoon. He carries his brother, whatever it was, 10 miles back to their camp, and he ends up passing out 100 yards away. And even though he did this amazing feat, was awarded a gold star, is known as a hero from everyone, in his head, he failed because he didn't get that extra 100 yards get his brother to safety. He thinks in his head that his brother died because of him and he failed, and he thinks he's not a hero. And so I think if you have a lot of people stay alive from the Rangers and you focus, because people are complaining that the side characters weren't focused on as much, but I think if you focus more on them and you give 81 a sidekick and you give 7 a better story than he had, then you take away from the true meaning of this. And it's 81. 81 is the whole movie is about him getting over the fact that he didn't kill his brother, but he needs to cross that finish line to feel like he's doing his brother right and to feel like he finally, for once, has crossed that finish line. So I think that's why it ends that way with him carrying 7 is finally he feels at rest that he's done it, that he's crossed that finish line and he was able to carry 7 to safety. And I think that if you completely, you know, take away all of that, then you don't really have that cool story anymore.
I can see what you're saying. Um, yeah, I guess you're right, like, his story would have been a little, like, brushed off, I guess, if we
'Cau
focused on other people, but I don't know, I still stand with what I said.
and I just can't, because I can't agree with it just because it would just it would diminish the underlying story and the overall theme inside of his head. Um, but
Mhm,
hey, that's just where I'm gonna disagree with. And your take is very valid because that's what a lot of people think.
mhm.
But
It's 'cause it's right.
hmm. Sure. Sure. Because of this great story throughout the movie, and this is why I really like this movie. I constantly am seeing him never giving up. Him, like that scene where he's walking through the pool and he's having these flashback memories and he's pushing himself past his limits and he
Mhm.
basically drowns because he's pushing himself so far, like him being in the front of the pack, even though he's this old. He's got knee problems, everything. It almost feels like I'm listening to a motivational speech. When I was watching this movie, I felt like I could have passed this ranger training. I feel like I could have made it through that death march. I
Yeah,
felt like I could do anything in that moment.
you said you would have been number 81,
Yeah. I was like, I
and
want to be
who did you
81.
tell me I would be? You
I
told
said,
me I would be, like, what, number 7 or something?
no, I said, you're the girl that said, what's up, dude, bros?
Oh, yeah, you said that. That
Is
was
that
really rude.
disrespectful?
Yeah, and then you were flaming her driving, bro.
Bro, she
I
was
know you wouldn't
driving
have even
drunk.
Aaron, she was being shot at by an alien robot, and her vehicle was, like, actively falling apart, and it was literally on 1 HP, so I don't think you would have been driving much better.
Her vehicle was on 1 HP. That's ball knowledge. Uh, I still think she was just driving stupid. Like there were scenes where she wasn't even getting shot at. Like when they were driving through the canyon and the robot hit like a switcheroo on him, she was still swerving. And I was
Bro,
just annoyed.
her car was probably all screwed up, like, I'm sure the alignment was, like, it was cooked,
I don't care. I would have done better. Give me the wheel.
bro. Alright, do you have any more negatives?
No, do you?
No, I do
Okay.
not.
I'll just say overall, I actually liked War Machine more than I expected. I think that the story about the survivor's guilt, because that was the main thing though, and like this is the positive that I feel overall from it is the story about the survivor's guilt, him pushing past his limits. I think it actually worked really well. Um, I don't think the corny dialogue held the movie back. I don't think any of the predictable stuff held it back. I think if you look past all of that, you have a really motivational movie here on our hands.
Mhm,
Do you
I agree.
so do you think people are being too hard on this movie just as your final thoughts?
No, I don't think so.
What would you rate this movie?
Uh, Probably like a 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10. I'll
Mhm.
give it. I can't give it too high, but I can give it like a 7 out of 10. I'm gonna be better than you,
Mhm.
but that's gonna be our final rankings. But we
Mhm.
want to hear from you guys. Is War Machine underrated, or are we completely wrong? Was this movie terrible? Do you more agree with Libby, or do you more agree with me? Let us know down in the comments. We're gonna move on to the game that I have prepared. This one is going to be called. Let me get to it. You're we're gonna be testing your ranger surviving skills. I'm going to
Mhm.
I'm going to tell you 4 different training exercises, and you have to tell me, would you survive it or would you not? Okay. Number 1, 48 hours with no sleep. You're constantly doing all the training that they're doing. You don't get any sleep for 48 hours.
Oh, like all the physical training that they're doing?
Yes.
Do I get to eat? I still get to, like,
Uh,
eat and, like, shower and stuff? I'd, like, just go no sleep?
no. No shower. You can have like some porridge and some bread.
Bruh. Like, yeah, I probably would survive. I just think that that's, like, so unhealthy. I'd probably be messed up from it.
It's discipline.
I think I could survive with 48 hours no sleep.
Okay. All right, number 2, the death march carrying the gear for miles. So this is what they were actually supposed to do. Get dropped off, death march all the way back to camp, and watch out for an ambush. We'll say there's
Mhm.
no ambush. You just have to carry the gear all the way back within 24 hours because that was the mark. Do you think you could do
Mhm.
that?
Mhm. Yeah.
You do.
Mhm.
I feel like I also agree, but someone's gonna come at us and be like, "You're stupid. It's way harder than that."
Yeah, people are gonna be like, "You guys are dumb. They're hiking through the mountains and it's, like,
Yeah,
sketchy terrain."
and
Like,
the gear's probably over 100 pounds.
facts. The gear probably weighs almost as much as I do,
Yeah.
and oh, wait, I was just gonna say something. My train of thought, it left my brain too fast. Oh, no.
That's all right. I got
I don't
another one
remember
for
what
you.
I was gonna say. Okay.
Would you survive that alien ambush, or are
Probably
you
not.
cooked? You're cooked.
I think I'm cooked. I don't
Okay.
even know if I wanna survive that, bro, because the fact that he finally is able to destroy the machine and then gets back to base and realizes there are, like, thousands more of those robots that, like, the army has to try to take out.
Yeah.
Nah, I wouldn't even wanna deal with that, I'm not even joking, like, I would hope they took me out.
Bro, that's crazy.
It's
Okay.
not my responsibility.
You're like, all right, I got my ranger scroll. I'm gone. That's what I thought he was gonna do.
Yeah, facts.
I thought he was just gonna get his ranger scroll, be like, I
I
did
thought
it for my brother. I did it for myself. I'm done. I'm retiring. I thought that's what he was gonna do,
yeah,
honestly.
yeah. Well,
All
he
right.
can't even retire, bro. He didn't have the option.
Yeah, they were just like, all right, give a speech and you're gone.
Yeah.
So he's a dog. Can you
Mhm.
carry a teammate across the finish line? Could you do what 81 did? But say it's not like a heavy person.
Okay, I was gonna
Yourself.
say,
Say you had to carry yourself.
like, someone the same size as me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could do that. Between that foam thing that he was able to drag him on and just, like, lifting him over his shoulders, like, yeah, that would be exhausting, but I know I could do it.
Okay. Fair enough. I feel like honestly that the the thing that he was carrying him on, the stint or whatever they call it, I feel like
Mhm.
carrying him in that would be harder than just on your shoulders in that mud because he was just trying to pull him through the mud and it was just not working. I feel like he could have just put him on his shoulders and it
Yeah.
would have been easier. I, and I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. But, like yeah, I agree.
It would be nice to drag, but
Yeah.
all right. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to like the video. Make sure to Make sure to subscribe.
And I
Oh, all right. Thank you guys for watching, and
we'll see you guys next time.